Hello and welcome back to Amateur Surgeon. When we last left off, we'd gotten through quite a bit of patients. Let's go on to the next one. Looks like it'll be a lot of fun. I'm Gus, but folks call me Guts. I run the junkyard downtown, body disposals and whatnot. Car bodies or never mind. I feel terrible. I can't eat no more. He ate an entire cup. That's kind of gross. See what I means? Can you guys take a look-see? Alan agrees. This guy is... He's basically... Oh yeah, we get to use the chainsaw. Taking out a rib cage is harder than putting pieces of it back together. I think we're going to need the chainsaw. Chainsaw is very difficult because it really hurts their heart rate a lot, and if you mess up, you have to do it all over again. And also, bits of the bone will come flying and embed themselves in them. As you can see, his heart rate has definitely seen better days after having his rib cage cut out. But yeah, Junkyard Gus. He is basically, at the early game, one of the worst. One of the worst because of the humor of the game characters. Because he ate an entire magnet. When you take the magnet out, it attracted a whole bunch of other metal up to the top. And also the hole where the magnet was is kind of gross. And it's even more gross when you seal it up. Eh. Granted, I don't see why I'm complaining because of some of the stuff I do. It's like, you know, normally you're cutting people up to kill them, not to save them. It's kind of a different change of pace. And this game came several years before games like Amateur Surgeon came out. Or Amateur Surgeon. Surgeon Simulator. Get it right. Yes, we just cauterized his bones together. And as you can see, I can just wave this around the general direction, although it's not really too efficient, and do it. Whereas if I was cutting with the chainsaw and messed up once, I'd have to cut the entire set again. And he's over already. Ah, that's better. There's nothing like a good clear out to work up an appetite. Thanks, fellas. Well, that was disgusting. Goodbye now. Yes, it was. Now, Lumbar Jack. Gee, he looks like a lumberjack, and his name is Lumbar. I wonder what his problem is going to be. My nickname's Lumbar Jack. Partly because of my profession, but mainly because of my back, eh? Pains me something fearsome. Nurse, anesthetic, please. I'm not your nurse, Alan. It's definitely his back. It's actually one of the few characters we operate in a different way. Poison, use the cutter, slice the skin about the liquid before it spreads. Yup. Get plenty of holes and have to suck it all up. Yeah. Also the sound of the vacuum, not too good. Sheesh. But yeah, poison is one of the most annoying things in the game. Because there will be things later where there are so many pieces of poison that they will eventually spread, because pretty much poison spreads and gets larger holes or larger groupings the longer you let it sit. And if you let it sit long enough, it will make more. And there are things in the game that will actually specifically make more, on top of it requiring a fair amount of cuts to open. So I forget what this disease is I wouldn't say it's a disease, but what this guy is suffering is actually called. I know it's something about lumbar, but maybe it is just lumbar disease. I have rightly no clue. But he is actually one of the few characters that we do a operation on that isn't from the front. I mean, granted, there's a lot of awkward things that aren't, you know, just fixing them up, and that, you know, again, part of why the game is fun, because you really had no idea what the game could possibly throw at you next, because it was just, oh my god, what the hell is this supposed to be? That feels... Ow. Oh yeah, so I'll be back to wrestling bears and violating forests in no time. Right, well, don't get too confused. Have fun now. Well, now we get to Eddie. I believe when I first played this, Eddie was my least favorite character because he's one of the first that are actually pretty challenging and will get killed if you mess up too much. I need to take a drink. Are you the vet? I mean, surgeon? I'm Eddie the dog. I know why they call me that? You clean yourself with your tongue? What? No. I'm full of tracking chips and the police make me wear this collar. Well, I can move those for you up on the table. I'm allowed on furniture? Sweet. Yep, Eddie the dog. Okay. Once you found the tracking chips, you'll need to burn them. It's rather important. I think that was something that yeah. This is something a bit different because you need to suck up the blood from the things and pour it on the fire. Yeah. That's where actually sucking liquid up comes into play, where you effectively put out internal fires with blood. Sometimes. A lot of the time with this game, honestly, I don't know why I even say that. But also, it splashes around and makes more wounds that you need to fix up. And there we go. I should just be able to use all of the liquid I sucked up to put that out. Yeah, just suck up a little bit more. Actually, now that I remember Eddie, I think he was fairly easy and simple once you actually knew what the hell you were doing. Because he's one of the few characters, well, he's one of the first characters where he's actually difficult, and if you aren't really good at the game, it's actually a close call. Because as you can see, his heart rate's definitely seen better days, and we still have more to go into. Yeah. Interestingly enough, out of everybody, he seems to be the best person. He's actually not, you know, full of crap. And also, as you can tell, when you break those things, it reduces the heart rate by a lot. And that was one of the other things. So his heart rate's definitely seen better days even now. Let's give him another injection to help. Find out you need to use that a lot, and when it messes up like that, later down the line, you don't have the time to fix those. So you really just dread when that happens. Put the fire out, and pick up the screw that flew out of a tracking chip that was larger than the ship itself. Where? Sheesh. That was a very poor stapling. No, not a stapler. I want the paint away, please. Okay, now I can seal this up. And now I have to cut that thing off. However, I actually have to use the chainsaw because it is a, you know, collar. You can't exactly just remove a collar with a pizza cutter. Yeah, let's get the chainsaw. Pick up that piece, chainsaw this, pick up that piece, and then pick up the other end. And that's it. As you can see, he needed a couple injections to actually stay afloat. Oh man, thanks. You know, have you guys ever considered going upscale, moving to the city? Oh no, I much prefer the quiet life. But Doc, think what we could do. There'd be loads more interesting stuff in the city. Yes, they're definitely interesting. I said no, Alan! I still need more practice when moving to the city. Alan, you're a very talented young man. In fact, you remind me of a student I had once. Really? You mentioned a student before. What happened to him? Was it a her? Heh. Yeah. Never mind. Listen to me, Alan. You said you wanted my help. Fine, I will help you. But all I want is a quiet life. Here, out of the way. Is that clear? Let's go to this guy, Jack. His name is Meat Sack, and his name is Jack. Hello, lads. I come into some right nice organs recently. I think I'm actually hitting the accent pretty well. Seeing as my own art's a bit rickety, I was hoping you could do me some swaps, like. In return, I'll see you get all the juicy organs a budding young surgeon could need. Look at the tubes and how glistening they are. Let's do it! Meat Sack Jack, yep. And he's a butcher. And he has... that's a tough looking kidney. This is a chainsaw job. So now we actually get a greater view of the kidney, and we actually do transplants and stuff. And that's really not looking too good at all. It's actually kind of gross, man. No, I don't want to staple it. And you heal those. Let's chainsaw. And I messed up. Well, you actually have to stay on the mark, otherwise that happens. Let's seal that up. No, game, I want the pain away. Let's put it... Cut that out and then pick up the pieces. And put a nice fresh one in. What do? Well, you do the same thing you do with everything else. Cauterize it in. Now, he did say his heart, and this is where I believe I learned what most of the things actually look like inside. Yeah. Buddy? I feel like... You son of a mother ducker. Something or other. Yeah, as you can see, the chainsaw really hurts them a lot. In fact, I'm going to do another injection. But messing up once with the chainsaw can be fatal, as you could see, because it reduces their heart rate so dang much. Especially on larger things like this. Now, let's... Actually, I'm going to give him another injection, just to be sure. And get going! Okay, well that actually worked the first time. Let's cut this out. God! I messed up. Bring those out, put those in, get an injection going. Remember how I said the game got pretty difficult later down the line? Yeah. This is really where it starts. You'll miss characters like Junk and Trent after this. But then again, they also get quite the interesting humor. Let's seal all of this. And I believe we still have a heart transplant to do. No? Okay. Nice job, lads. Tell me though, a place like this hardly fitting for chaps like you, is it? There's plenty of work in the city. Haven't you heard? Some nut jobs start running around maiming folk. Terrible it is. Mean like you? Doc, did you hear what the guy said? The city needs us. I don't want to be a pizza boy forever. One day I want to have my own surgery. For real. Please. What about you? Surely you must want something better for yourself. I need to think. I'm going for a walk. Hey, wait, Doc. And now to Horace. He is effectively the quote-unquote boss of the first patient files. You'll find that the ones that are in the very end are generally much more difficult than even the ones that you've encountered. Also, Jack was a C because I messed up that one time. Also, apparently Junk was a C, but I think that was because I was talking so much. But Horace. I'm going to try him at least once, and if I fail, well then we'll save him for next time. Well, maybe twice, depending on how quickly I fail. Man, I can't believe the doc left me on my own. What if some other head case comes in? Bonjour, I am Horace. You are the pizza boy who operates with a spoon? A pizza cutter, actually. Take up your spoon, child. I will be most interested to see what you find within me. Okay. And he still has a cigarette. Okay, I can do this. Worst case scenario, his heart stops and I can use the battery, the last item in the game, to start him up again. You have to use the battery for a hell of a lot more than that. As you'll actually quickly find out, this is really difficult for the fact that you're not actually sure entirely what you need to do all of the time. Because it doesn't always explain, or you're so frantically trying to do things you can't read what it says on the bottom. Bugs, but I don't have a hammer tool. Wait, the battery. Yep, you have to zap them with the battery. If you miss, it stops their heart. So you have to be really careful. Because if you miss, it stops their heart entirely. And remember how I said it starts to get rather interesting? Well, here we are. This guy has bugs in him. I just tried to paint away something that I needed to seal. His heart rate's going down extremely quickly. What I'm going to do is seal these cuts. Suck up some of the blood just to make sure I have plenty. And then give him an injection and maybe two. I believe if you start to stack injections, it becomes less efficient. The reason for this, it really... Oh wait, I didn't have the pain away equipped, that's why. Well, there we go, his heart rate is now at least in the 40s. Bugs 0 and improve 1. We're now in the heart. So once again, seal stuff up. And then probably the bugs will come out. However, I'm going to once again give him another injection because he's in the 30s already. I remember how difficult Horace is. No, I need the pain away. I'm going to give him one more, see how that affects him. Okay, 58. That's pretty good. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there's a giant... There's a mother bug. And there's more. You can't cut all of them out at once. I'm actually doing fairly well. I want to zap the bugs. Yep, there we go. That's what I was talking about. Injection. As you can see, I missed, and it completely stopped him for a second, and I had to zap him again to make him live. That's why working with that is super dangerous. And there's another. I'm going to give him at least one more injection to survive. Luckily, you have plenty of time to work with. It's at least good. Let's get the big one out of the way. Oh, it released a lot of them. That one, and that one. 2 more. And I missed. Quit it! No! I failed! Well, Horace. The patient was bitten too many times. When we come back, we'll try Horace again. Hopefully this time with less missing and actually zapping the bugs. That was a bit painful. This is why I said it was a boss. It's actually kinda like a combat thing, except if you miss, you effectively nearly die. When we come back, more of Horace. Till then, see ya.